Yeah, there's this one guy. His name is Kobe. His nickname, Big Cheese. It's not really a quote from this movie, but it's like an excerpt, you know. Oh man, what's going on, guys? My name is Barry,
This is Colby.
and this is Who Watches It. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the final movie of Wayne's Dynasty Month.
I'm not sure why that was the sound.
I gotta say though, this movie poster is really misleading. Oh man, he's so prominent in the movie poster.
Right, yeah.
And,
I just assumed, yeah.
and in this one, he's in between things. You know, I honestly, this movie has a lot of really famous people in it that I feel like was like, I'm returning the favor. Oh man, because you guys already know John Hurts is in here and a certain Wayne's brother that didn't give it away. And let's go to our first section, Mr. Movie Trailer. Before we talk about the cast,
Right.
In the mood for a 90s crime noir, coupled with some really famous actors, led by a man whose Google search after his name isn't that good. Then look no further than 1999's New Bloods.
all right, because I was like, I need to know who this main actor is, because he's kind of bad. And the moment I put Nick Moran's name in there, it's immediately followed by "Isn't that good?"
They also we'll start this off with a fun fact. He has a felony record before this movie.
Uh-huh.
And so Canada was giving him a hard time because they filmed this in Canada.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let him in because he had a felony.
Oh my god. Well, do you know what the felony was for?
I'm not sure. They wouldn't let him over the border, and he had to get a lawyer to draft up
permission, like a travel papers or something?
Yeah.
Like Canada's he's letting Canada, he's not gonna commit any felonies while he's in your maple syrup country. Canada's been acting up a lot lately, you know, like the Winter Olympics just got done and they've been cheating at curling. Like, listen,
yes.
America does not care about curling, but we will enter your rinky-dink sport and dominate. I love the Olympics because it's like the only time in a specific amount of time that everyone becomes super patriotic. Because it's very much like, I can bully my siblings, you can't. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So, okay. I take it back. I had to look.
Okay.
Because you said, what crime? There is a different Nick Moran
okay.
who was soliciting a minor and got a felony. And because his name matched the registry list, so he had to get his lawyer to draft up papers to prove that he wasn't. It was a different Nick Moran.
Oh,
sorry,
Nick Moran.
I'm glad I looked it up, so I'm not spreading false information.
Come on,
Nick
Kobe.
Moran.
You know our reach is so large.
Not a felon. Everybody's like, what? I liked him. It's a felon.
Yeah, our reach is so large that we don't want to get sued for defamation. No, I mean, who else is friggin'? Okay, so John Hurts is one of the big, like, you know, Sir John Hurts, you know, rest in peace.
Yes.
What's it called? Freaking Carrie Ann Moss and Joey Pants. Which I gotta say,
Matrix alumni.
I think this was just right after The Matrix.
I think so.
But I think this movie was filmed before The Matrix. I don't know.
Possibly.
But I had to look up that dude's name because, like, that's not his real name. That's like a mob's name. That's a mobster guy's name. You know, Joey Pants. You know, he's the guy that's like, you go for pants that fell off the truck.
Pantalino. This is his full last name.
Is that his full?
But they call him Joey Pants.
Yeah,
Joe Pants.
But that's so cool. That means pants in a Spanish variation language.
Yes.
I don't know if it's Portuguese or Spanish, because in Tagalog it's pantalones. Oh god, who else was pretty big in here? I was like, Marlon, obviously Shawn Wayans, but
right. I didn't know them, but I recognized a few of the people, like the thug guy with the hat.
The fat guy?
Fat Frailing, or whatever his name is.
Fat Frailing. I think his name was just Frailing, and he was just fat.
Oh. I just add words. I recognized him.
I just gotta say, though, this movie has more famous people than it probably needed.
It was okay. So it's Michael Hurst is the writer, director, producer on this.
Yep.
This is his first movie that he wrote, first movie he directed, first movie he produced. But we did also review one of his movies previously because Ninja, he wrote, directed, and produced.
Yep.
The movie Ninja when we did our Ninja month,
Exactly.
one with Scott Atkins.
Yeah, but Scott Atkins carries that movie.
And Ninja 2, he also was involved with that one. Pumpkinhead 4,
which I'm surprised we haven't watched.
I was right.
But oh my god, let's get started with this movie. I do gotta say, it's pretty okay. Let's just get into it. I'll talk about my thoughts about it at the end of this episode, right? So the movie starts off with like finding a very old man hurt on the ground, lying around some money, and some young hooligans are like, "Oh man, there's a bunch of money around this dead white guy." Listen, I don't remember were they white, the kids?
They were.
Okay.
And it never really showed their face, I don't even think. They were just kind of like crawling around on the ground picking up the money.
Because I was like, as a minority, you never want to be anywhere where there's a dead white guy. Because you're automatically this.
And a bunch of money laying around, yeah.
But he gets picked up, you know, like he's still alive. One of the hooligans is like, we can't just leave him. He's still alive. So they grab the money first because it's like, well, let me get paid for my Good Samaritan deal.
Right, that's only fair.
That's only fair. And so yeah, like, you know, they call the cops. Like 3 FBI agents show up or something like that. I don't know if they're FBI or just local PD.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, you know, we just found a whole bunch of dead bodies next to the farmhouse, and one of them is the big wig. Pretty much, like, you know, like
Mr. Ryan, right?
Mr. Ryan. But yeah, I guess like in this world, if you want to put it in comic book terms, it's like finding the Penguin dead.
Yes.
You know, Black Mass, just one of the crime lords of Gotham, not like the Joker, right? But they're like, who's this who's this injured white guy, old white guy. He's like, he says his name is Alan, but we got a videotape of him saying that his name is Williams. And there's somebody missing.
Right.
So they start to kind of interview him. One of the cops is like, "Get on with it, old man." I was like, "No, I have to tell you my story first." I was like, "Oh, okay. Maybe there's a twist in this movie. That's why he has to tell the story." And so he starts talking about how, like, you know, he's taking care of his ailing daughter, Emma, who has a heart condition.
Right, a serious heart condition.
Yeah, very serious heart
it's
condition.
on the waiting list for a replacement.
And you know, if you're poor, you can't, you know, you're probably not going to make it.
Right, and at this point you're like, but is he poor? Because he's in a silk bathrobe surrounded by a bunch of money.
Exactly.
So, but...
You know, is he living a double life? Who knows? Right? But he tells the police, he's like, it's actually a lot more complicated than what it's going on for. My name is actually Alan. He's like, yeah, but we have a video. You're saying that you're Jason Williams. He's like, no. Let me tell you this long, drawn-out story. Oh, like, when they find him, like, on the ground at the beginning of the movie, he's looking for his son as well.
Yes.
He's like, where's my son? But yeah, when he starts talking about it, he's like, you know, I was at home, and all of a sudden I kept hearing banging, banging, banging on the door. So I opened the door, and there's my son Danny, lying on the floor,
and
shot.
Now, when you see him in his natural environment at his home, he looks very blue collar work.
Yeah, you know, very factory type of coming, you know, what is it, construction, retired foreman, something like that, you know. And he's like, oh my God, Danny, what's going on? I have to call the police. I have to call an ambulance. And he's like, no, you don't. Pulls out a gun on his dad. And he's like, now this is like a storyception. Because he's like, I have to tell you a story.
Right. I was like, oh, so we're getting a story within the story. Within the story.
Yeah, if they had another side, I would have lost my mind. I was like, this has to be a comedy. But he starts telling how he's like, hey, listen, I'm in a bad way, and I need your help to save my family. And, you know, Alan's like, oh my God, you have a family? He's like, well, just shut up and listen, old man. And he starts talking about it. You know, he's like, he wakes, you know, we go to Danny's story, and he just got done having sex with his girlfriend. We do get titties in this movie. I was like, oh, there's a you know, obligatory titty shot in the 1999 film with Sean Wayans. But we get introduced to, like, he's like, this is where I was like, is this a serious movie? Because he's like trying to talk to his dad. He's like, I'm in what you would call a crew. I was like, what was that line delivery? I was like, what the fuck was that? But he starts talking about his crew, and it's like super stereotypical 90s names. He's like, we got Webster. He's been clinically diagnosed as a sociopath. He comes in a suit. He's like, I just beat my homicide case or whatever the fuck case he had to go through, right? We get introduced to an Asian guy, and he's like, yeah, he thinks he's the brains of the crew, and his name is Yin Yang. I was like, oh my God. Can't wait for Sean Wayne's name. And this is and you know, introduce you to Valentine. He's been running with me ever since I moved to New York City. He's my best friend. I was like, okay, thank God. I was like, please don't have a stereotypical name. But like, he's talking to his crew, and he's trying to tell them, he's like, yo, I got us a big score. And, you know, it's with Mr. Ryan. They're like, holy shit, Mr. Ryan? Yeah, you know, he's gonna bring us down into some kidnapping case. We're getting a promotion, and he's just
right now they're running like hot cars for him.
Yeah, you know, gone in 60 seconds type shit.
But they're all low level, so nobody even knows who Mr. Ryan. They've never met him.
Yeah,
it's just like Mr. Ryan told me to tell you that he needs these cars. But now they're moving up the chain to kidnapping.
Yeah, and Danny's like, yeah, you know, we got to run it with, what's his name, Hellmouth? What is Joey Pants' name in this movie? Hellman.
Like Hellman's mayonnaise. with the worst haircut. Like,
Yeah, I was like, what is this haircut?
he kind of wants to be Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh man, but like Valentine, which okay, also like each of these guys have like a tattoo below their eye. Like Danny's is a teardrop. I think Webster's is the dictionary. Valentine is a heart.
A broken
A
heart.
broken heart. And then Yin Yang is a yin yang. Like, this is. I was like, that's. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but Valentine is like, hey man, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to get any deeper. You know, if I get caught, you know, like basically Valentine's thinking is like, if I get caught for lifting cars, that's cool. That's like maybe like a year or two in the pen or something like that. But if we keep upgrading, it's like life sentence stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then you want us to, yeah.
20 years.
And then you want us to work with Hellman, who is a fucking demon. No, man, I don't want to do it, you know? And Danny's like, dude, we're going to get so much dough from this. We're going to be good. We're going to be just fine. And Webster and Yin are like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's run that shit. And Danny is like looking at Valentine, and Valentine is like, and he tells Valentine, he's like, hey man, come on, I need you in this with me, man. You're my best friend.
Brother.
You're my brother. And he's like, all right, fine. So like they go over to meet Hellman, who is like what? Like he gets, well, you get introduced to Lurch. I know his name is not Lurch, but Sean Wayans call him that. And he's like, yeah, this big motherfucker right here, they say he's unkillable because he got his throat slit and he survived. And he's like probably like a solid 300 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I'm really surprised I haven't seen him in other things.
I know.
Like, I feel like this was his part. And he was like, I could always be the bodyguard, thug, bouncer guy in any movie.
I don't know, but maybe it's just like, this is just like, maybe they just got him off set, you know?
It's true. And maybe he went on like, hey, I don't want to say it like this, but like BET Network and like did like some bigger movies
that you've never seen.
But that just ones that I haven't seen.
Yeah. And we get introduced to Hellman, and we get introduced to Carrie Ann Moss, who's like not really a part of their crew, but she's sort of like a liaison between Mr. Ryan and like his little factions.
She's like the planner.
Yeah.
She did like all the reconnaissance beforehand.
Yeah, but she doesn't work for Hellman.
Right.
Yeah. So but like, you know, they're introducing everybody, and Hellman is like, yeah, Joey Pants is really, he's killing this role. He kills like every role that I've ever seen this dude do it.
He is. He doesn't have a lot of range, but he always gives it 100%.
Yeah. He's always playing unhinged characters.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes he plays good characters too, but I feel like if he wanted to, he could reach Stanley Tucci levels, but who knows? Maybe that's just where he likes to fit in, you know?
Right. Not even typecast. I think he just enjoys that.
Yeah, that archetype.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like they're, you know, he's like talking, he's like, oh my God, Mr. Ryan's giving us a whole bunch of fucking greenhorns, bunch of noobs. And then, you know, they talk about the plan, like, hey, we're gonna kidnap this guy named Jason Williams. No relation to the basketball player White Chocolate. And this is the plan. You know, we gave you guys guns. You're not gonna use them. You're just gonna wave them around. And Sean Wayans is like, you know, Valentine is like, are we just gonna wave him around? He's like, yeah, don't worry. We got it. We got a guy that's been kind of connected with Williams, so we're going to be able to get into the property. We might have to kind of strong arm some places, but it'll be fine. I don't want to kill you guys.
And he was just like, so I could just go with my gun unloaded? And they're like, no, you'd rather have a loaded gun and not need it than a not loaded gun and need it. So
very true, right? Like, listen, very true. If you're gonna carry a gun around, you gotta
Right.
keep. I'm not trying to what's it called, advocate for guns, but like if you're gonna carry one, you probably should have at least like one or two in there.
Right. Yeah. You don't pop a karate stance in a fight when you're only a white belt.
You know? Yeah, I was like telling a coworker, I was like, listen, man, if you're gonna pull out a gun, you're probably gonna have to use it. So don't pull it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know gun etiquette, but I've heard that from a movie before.
It's
Very
yeah.
true.
True.
Don't pull it out unless you're gonna use it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if it's gotten to that serious of a point that you have to pull it out, then yeah.
Yeah, you know, America's wild. And so they finally plan for this, and again, Valentine's super is like, hey man, like we can dip out now, we can say no, and Danny's like, no, it's gonna be fine. And so it gets to the night of the kidnapping, and they're going through the security checks, but Lurch and like some other dude just starts blasting.
Right, just right away.
They're like, nah, fuck this finesse shit. And they get into like a huge gunfight in front of this guy's mansion. And, you know, the crew, as Danny says, they freeze up.
Right, because they're not ready for gunplay.
Yeah. And like, you know, it's funny, I was like watching this, I was like, you know, this is probably the most realistic part of this whole fucking thing, is like this gunfight. It's nothing special. It's super like chaotically like played out.
Yeah.
I was like, this is probably what a gunfight really looks like. It's not like that cool John Woo shit. It's like a and unfortunately, like, so like Danny gets paired up with like the fat dude. His job is like with him and the fat dude, they're supposed to go get Williams and extract them. The other crew is supposed to go ahead and blast into this like safety vault that he has,
right,
and take out all the money.
Because it hasn't been mentioned before, but apparently Valentine is a explosive expert.
Yeah.
And so he can blow the city.
And so that's like the whole plan, right? But as like this plan is going, it's going kind of awry. His crew's dying one by one. Webster, who's like the most unhinged one, kind of just goes balls out, no cover, starts shooting his 6-shooter until he gets his finger blown off.
Yeah.
And then he tries to go for his finger because he's like, well, we can just reattach it later. And then he gets domed in the head.
Right. Yeah.
Yin Yang is he's what's it called, panicking. He has a panic attack. He's hyperventilating. He sees Webster die, and then he's like, all right, well, I guess I gotta start shooting. Gets one to the chest, and Valentine takes off his mask for some reason, and he's like, oh my god. Pulls Yin Yang out of the way, and he's like kind of holding him because they're friends. Right?
Yeah, and I don't know if the masks were made for safety, but they were kind of cool. Like,
oh yeah, very mankindish.
yeah.
Or Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, right.
But yeah, and so like Danny goes over there, tries to figure out what's wrong. Hellman is getting pissed. He's like, you guys aren't shooting back. If you guys don't shoot, I'm gonna shoot you guys because I don't need dead weight. And so he's like, his dad is listening to all this, and he's like, I don't know where I factor into this. And he's like, shut up, old man. You're going to keep listening because if you want me to die so Emma can have my heart, you're going to keep listening.
Right.
Because that's the plan, right? That's like their deal. He's like, if you help me, you can have my heart because you know it'll be a match for Emma's.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm shot here in the stomach. I'm not going to survive, but I can survive long enough to get the heart to the hospital.
Yeah,
in my
fresh.
beating body. And then...
and then transfer it to Emma.
And since we're twins, even we're not fraternal twins.
Yeah.
So we know that blood type and everything is 100% match. So
exactly.
there won't be any rejection.
At least that's how I think it works. We're not genealogists. We're not genealogists.
For this movie, that's how it works.
But yeah, so he's saying, so like they get into the house, they get Williams and Fatback. That's what I'm just gonna call him now. Fatback. He duct tapes him in a way where it's like, are you fucking stupid? Because he duct tapes his mouth and his nostrils.
And I saw it and I was like, that's shoddy directing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how you duct tape somebody.
But it plays in, right?
Yeah.
And so they get out, and as they're leaving, what's it called, Lurch, he puts like a little thumbs up, and you know, Danny's like, oh yeah, they're blowing up the safe to get whatever money he has in there. And so as they're leaving, he's telling his dad, he's like, yeah, and then I started hearing some shit in the fucking trunk, and then turns out fucking Fatback over there duct tapes all of his air holes, and he dies. And he's tripping, so I shoot him, and then he shoots me, and that's how I ended up here. And so he's like,
because he's new at the shooting people, so he doesn't know the double tap rule.
And so his dad is like, okay, where do I play in all this? He's like, I need a Williams. Nobody saw him but me and Fatback.
Oh, right. Fatback was the only person who had any real contact with him prior, so nobody knows what he looks like.
And so he's like, so what do you want me to do? He's like, I need you to be Williams. And he's like, how am I going to make it out of this? He's like, you're not. Me and you are both going to die. At least you'll die saving Emma, you piece of shit dad.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, they don't have a great relationship with each other. And so, like, yeah, so Alan agrees. He's like, okay. You know, but you promise that you're gonna save Emma, right? Because she, out of anybody, deserves a good life. Or a chance at a good life. He's like, yep. And so, like, you know, he gives them the pajamas. He's like, I really don't want to wear this. He's like, well, you don't really have a fucking choice. And Alan asks him, you know, as he goes to get himself cleaned up, he's like, how's your mother? And he's like, wow, you know, in 8 years, you couldn't look up a fucking phone book?
Right, and that's when you kind of get you kind of piece together the story that mom and dad separated because dad was a drunk and abusive, but he took the daughter and mom took the son, and
which I was kind of surprised of that split. I thought you would take, you know, the dad would take the son and the mother would take the daughter.
Well, it's mama's boy and daddy's girl. You know, usually it's kind of
how it goes.
Yeah. Especially if they're like teens. You know, boy teens always hate their dad and girl teens always hate their mom.
Yeah, so like pretty rough relationship. And so, like, you know, he gets cleaned up, he gets in the fucking pajamas, and he drags them over to like their little safe house. And Hellman's like, I don't know, but okay. But where's Fatback? And he's like, he spins this whole story about how Fatback wanted the ransom. And he's like, if I got the ransom, he wouldn't have to fucking worry about Mr. Ryan anymore. And Hellman's like, man, Mr. Ryan's going to really hate that. He liked that porky son of a bitch.
But he's like, yeah, but greed goes a long way. And, you know, if you're already a criminal, you got to expect you to be a criminal.
Exactly. But Carrie Ann Moss shows up, and she's like, what the fuck happened? How was there no money in the safe?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ryan's not going to like this. At least we'll get the ransom. But she looks at Mr. Williams, and Alan's like, oh, fuck, she knows.
Yeah.
And so, like, later on the night, when everyone's kind of falling asleep, Valentine goes to Danny's room. He's like, I'm getting out of here. You should get out of here, too. But Danny's like, no, I can't. You think I wanted to come back here? I came back here for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I came here to save you.
Right.
And, you know, like, even if we left, then, like, Mr. Ryan would find us, and we wouldn't last more than a day or two.
Right. Because they don't know how to hide.
Yeah, these guys are just so low-level thugs, you know? And so when they get back in the house, Carrie Ann Moss is in the same room that Alan is in, and she's like, care to explain? And so Danny's like, all right, I'll tell you, but let Valentine go back to bed. The less he knows, the better.
Right, yeah.
And Valentine's like, all right, man. So she tells, like, Carrie Ann Moss is like, hey, you think I'm new to double crossing? You didn't think I would know I was the planner? You don't think I know who fucking Williams is? fucked him. And she was like, and just to let you know, that safe wasn't empty. It's in my car right now. So you better fucking tell me what's going on before I tell Mr. Ryan. You think there's like, and Hellman said it before. He's like, Mr. Ryan's done things that I would never do.
Right.
And so he tells him, he's like, listen, Fatback's actually in Williams's pocket. They planned this whole thing, and they had Fatback tell Mr. Ryan so then he could fake a whole kidnapping so he can kind of disappear, like, you know, rich and single.
Right. And if I could convince my dad to come here with my sister's heart story, then I would get a cut.
Exactly. A lot of fucking money. And so she's like, okay, that sounds fun. Are you sure you're going to be able to do this, though? You're going to have to you're going to have to watch your own dad die. And he's like, he's a piece of shit anyway.
Right.
And so she's like, okay. Well, so she leaves, and Alan's like super pissed. He's like, I can't believe you. Why did you lie to me? I can't believe you. And he's like, you think, no, that was just on the fly. I lied to her, not you, Dad. Not you. And so like but then they actually, this is like probably the best acting for this whole movie. And of course it's, you know, Sir John Hurt's delivering this line. He's like, you know, like I just like at that time I couldn't put the drink down, and then I beat your ass. And you know, I hated myself for doing that to you, you know, and because you could tell, like, you know, and like as he's saying this, like Danny's like kind of tearing up, and he's like, you know, even when you told me that, like, you know, I didn't want either of you to die, but like, you know, like to save your sister, and then maybe like letting you do this to me will kind of give myself some sort of redemption.
Right. Yeah.
And Danny's like, oh fuck, man, why'd you have to say that? Fuck. And Hellman all of a sudden comes. He's like, hey, the ransom's through. All right, let's kill this guy.
It's killing time.
Right? And so, yeah, like, you know, they get ready to kill him. And, like, Hellman gives Danny the gun. And he tells Danny, he's like, let's just get this over with. And all that stuff. And he's like, he hesitates. He gives the gun back. He's like, I can't do it, man. And then Hellman's like, all right, well, I'll do it. They get into like this whole huge gunfight. He uses like Hellman's gun in his pant waist to shoot himself in the dick or some shit like that. I don't know. And a whole bunch of betrayal starts happening, right? Because Hellman doesn't really he treats his crew whatever, you know, but one of them, the tall, lanky one, he's like, fuck this guy, shoots Hellman in the back. And then they're about to shoot Danny, and Danny is like, hey, she has the money in the trunk. And she was like, no, I fucking don't. He's lying. And I believe it was his dad that killed Carrie Ann Moss.
I think so, yeah.
And so now, like, it's this movie gets so chaotic at the end. But this is probably, like, the best portion of this film. The last, like, 30 minutes of this movie. I was like, okay, it ended strong. I'll give it that, right? And so, like, yeah, they you know, Lurch and tall, lanky guys, all right, we'll take us to the money. Let's go ahead and get it. You know, go ahead and bring Valentine and the old man, so Danny will tell us where Fatback and Williams is, so we can get even more money.
Right.
And so he brings them, you know, to Carrie Ann Moss's car, shows the money. He's all right, now kill Williams and Valentine. We just need Danny. Danny's like, you think I'm going to fucking give it to you? Hell no. If you're going to do that. And all of a sudden, Mr. Ryan comes.
Yup.
Oh, man. And so, like, Mr. Ryan's talking to Lurch. He's like, not really your finest work, man. You know, Hellman's dead. A whole bunch of people are dead. And he's like, I don't know what to expect for the next one. But there was no next one because he shoots him in the stomach.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of death starts happening. Freaking some dude buys Valentine. He like walks past Valentine, shoots him in the stomach as he's leaving. And then Danny shoots that guy. It's a whole bunch of action, but really how it really turns out.
And Mr. Ryan had brought 2 more bodyguards, so now.
So a whole bunch of people would die. So let's just go ahead and run through that. Lurch ends up getting back up. He gets to the car, shoots a guy with a shotgun into the chest. That guy ends up shooting Lurch in the face, and he's like, I guess my luck's run out. Valentine is about to almost get shot by one of the bodyguards until... Oh, no, he's about to get shot by Mr. Ryan, but then, like, Alan is able to drag Danny, who got shot in the chest or the back of, or in the back, into the car, and Danny's able to fucking Hawkeye Mr. Ryan in the face.
Yeah.
But then Alan starts driving away. He's like, we gotta go back for Valentine. He's like, it's too late for him. I don't think it was.
Right, he's still hobbling around.
Yeah, he's still hobbling around.
But now he's like, I'm saving my son.
Yeah,
not this stranger. And then, Valentine is like, he's laying on the ground. He's about to get done in by the bodyguard, but he tells the bodyguard, he's like, I'm already dying, dude. Yeah.
Which we never know. We never know if Valentine died.
Right.
Maybe. There's a lot of bodies at that farmhouse, and I didn't count. But what's it called? And so like Alan checks on his son. He's like, oh my god! But then he finds the address in his pocket, which was a part of the story he told Carrie Ann Moss. And he's like, oh my god, you lied to me. You didn't lie to her. You lied to me.
Yep.
And Danny's like, I'm so sorry, man. Like, he was just offering me so much money. And Alan is like, and you did it because you hated me. He's like, yeah, I hated you, but not like, I hated you, but then when you said all that stuff and fuck, it made me realize that no matter how shitty of a dad you are, you're still my dad.
Right.
And like, Alan holds the gun for a second and he's like, don't, daddy. I was like, I feel so weird about grown adults calling their parents daddies and mommies.
Yeah.
But Alan is like, okay, well, if we go to this rendezvous, they said that there's going to be a doctor there because they did end up shooting him instead of using like fake blood packets.
Right. They were like, yeah, your dad's going to know if it's just fake blood, so we actually going to shoot you. And they shoot him. And they're like, don't worry, it's not like a kill shot.
Yeah.
But it's gonna. Here's some pain pills.
It's gonna fucking hurt.
It's gonna fucking hurt. Get back here in 12 hours while the doctor waiting, and then we'll get you patched up
and give you the money. So he gets there. Alan gets there holding his son, and he's like, where's the doctor? Give me the money. I think me and my son have done enough of our fair share, and what's it called? John Hurts ends up getting shot. Alan ends up getting shot while trying to get the money from Fatback. Fatback throws some money in the air kind of as a distraction to shoot him.
Right, the old sand in the eyes trick.
Pocket sand. He ends up falling. The gun kind of rolls over to Danny, and he kind of pockets the gun. And they end up, he's like, all right, well, fine, we'll take your son to the hospital so your daughter can get a heart. We're not that much of a monster. And then he tells the police, he's like, yeah, I heard some gunshots. After that I passed out. And so the detective's like, holy shit, all right, let's go. They go to the apartment complex, find the 2 dead bodies, and he's like, well, there's Fatback and there's our missing guy. But we also find the big bag of money.
Right.
And they're like, well, if he didn't take the money, why didn't he take the money?
Right.
And then all of a sudden we get a little quick cut to him walking into the hospital, all bloodied up. And he's like, I'm here to see my sister. And then it just fades to black. I was like, well, did his sister...
Right, and it's like a freeze frame at that is... I'm here to see my sister. Boom, freeze. Yeah. And it's like 5 seconds of freeze and then the credits roll. And it's like, that is so like 70s.
Yeah.
Like that's a 70s ending.
Oh, man. But yeah, let's get to our other section. High star and low star.
There was not any 10 out of 10s or 9 out of 10s. But we got some 8 out of 10s. Okay. 8 out of 10. storytelling at its best. Quiet how this great little movie, I'm not sure how this great little movie has slipped undetected is a mystery. A great cast bring real life to wonderful twisty narrative that, whilst inevitably drawing comparisons to Tarantino and Guy Ritchie by the nature of the genre, appear fresh and exciting. Don't be put off by the straight-to-video title. Hurst's ability as a writer is more than matched by his skill behind the camera, and he never loses his grip on the story that in other hands might have become a tedious and confusing mess. This is storytelling at its best.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, and then actually, I'm gonna start getting our reviews from Letterboxd.
Okay.
That one's so it's 1 out of 5, but I got one that's 1.5. This movie was so boring that it took me almost 3 weeks to finish. I went in for a Shawn Wayans movie that wasn't produced or directed by his siblings. I think he works better with comedy because everyone in this movie just gave depressing atmospheres and C-list acting. Even Ollivander, which is John Hurt's character from Harry Potter, himself, along with the girl from The Matrix, gave a mediocre performance with a slow burn and only 2 action scenes. Daddy issue type of movie, you know what I mean? I had to find what was wrong with this movie, so I went to the director, and it seems that he's directed many cheap horror films throughout the 90s and 2000s. This man was the writer of Mosquito Man. I've never seen that, but it goes to show that I should have done my homework before watching this. I didn't know there was a Mosquito Man movie out there.
Right, it's like his 3rd movie. I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yeah, it's exactly what you think from the title.
So, like, okay, what were your thoughts on this movie?
It did have a decent story, and it had there was no boring parts. It flowed pretty well all the way through. Like I said, there was a little storyception on storyception where, like, it's a little, but most of it I felt just was like being a new director.
Yeah,
he just didn't quite like have the wherewithal to get all the characters where they needed to be. Like some of it was just like they were just like background characters. They're like, this is a character that's just in this movie, so we have somebody to get killed.
Yeah,
and like when you have like a Wayans brother, you want them to, that they have talent, and you want them to portray it, and like you never they kept talking brotherhood and like, this is my like best friend. You never got that. Like they needed to build that so that way it was like he's fighting for something, because he's like, I hate my dad, and then it's my best friend, but man, I'm gonna ignore him a lot.
Yeah, a lot of it was telling versus like visually showing, like how their bonds were, right?
Yeah.
But like, strangely enough, this movie does something you don't really see a lot of movies doing, which is like being able to stake the landing for the end of this movie. Because the movie, like the last 30 minutes of this movie, was actually very crime noir.
Right. It was, and it's so funny you say that, because in the background, like last movie we did, you were like, this movie wasn't necessarily the greatest, but it had an awesome soundtrack.
Yeah.
This one, the whole soundtrack felt like a black and white like 40s detective movie.
Yeah.
And it took me out of this movie a couple times where I was like, that's not the sound I need in the background. I need it to be like some music. I need it to be something haunting, like something that and it's like, I'm waiting for him to be like, hey, these dames come in here with their looking for their missing husbands.
Is it?
Like it, like totally like that kind of music. And it just, and there was like 3 or 4 times in the movie I was like, why is that playing in the background? That's not right.
Like you wanted it to be like a updated noir soundtrack, right? That
right,
was not
like
in
yeah,
the budget.
like if you're yeah, if it's not like songs,
Yeah,
but at least have it
just modernized.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like like I said, like this movie, like the first 75% of it was kind of like, wow, the acting. Like obviously, Carrie-Anne Moss and Joey Pants, good. Like they were fine. Like they did what they had. They did what they could with the material they were given.
right.
Same.
Yeah, no, and really, like the acting, I thought was good. It was just, like I said, there was a couple parts where they just needed to build some relationships or build a character a little bit more,
like flesh them out.
Yeah, so you cared.
Yeah, and like it doesn't help that like Nick Moran's is he's pretty wooden. As far as like, I feel like because I believe he's a British actor.
Mm-hmm.
He had like this strange Boston-ish type of accent going on, or I don't know what the accent he was doing.
Like it felt. Yes, I noticed that too, and it didn't seem natural.
Yeah,
like it felt like, did like Boondock Saints come out in a similar time period? Like it felt like,
or wait, when did the Boondock Saint come out?
Because it felt like it was like, I'm gonna be an Irish gangster, kind of, and then like, and then it was like when it was like, here's the crew, here's the Irish guy and the Italian guy and the black guy and the Asian guy, like it's most diverse crew.
Exactly, I'll give it that. He did have a pretty diverse crew. He had like Webster, who he seemed Middle Eastern, like somewhere along those portions.
Yeah,
and then you had the Asian dude, Yin Yang. Yeah, so it would have been fine if he just like was just British or Scottish or wherever Nick Moran's is from, because I was like, well, your dad's British. He's obviously British. John Hurts makes zero effort to do an American accent. He's like, I've been in America, but this accent's thick. And so, and like obviously it's like Nick Moran's delivery for like a lot of his lines, like some, like, you know what, it was more bothersome at the beginning of the movie than towards like the rest. At the beginning of the movie, it's pretty, I mean, his performance is pretty wooden throughout the whole thing, but I think I got used to it, and then it didn't really matter so much.
I agree. Like when he first starts talking to his dad, that's when it's like, what is this accent? And then like once the action starts, then maybe it's less speaking role that he's got. I don't know. But yeah, then I didn't notice it again.
Yeah. But like the whole time, the whole movie, it stuck with me. He's like, I'm in something what you would call a crew, Dad. Like he doesn't fucking know the definition of what a crew is, or he believes his dad wouldn't understand the context of like, my son came in here shot with a gun. I wonder what a crew is. Is he rolling crew? Did he get into what is it called? Boating, kayaking, or whatever? Is he rolling crew? I'm so old. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, that delivery for me, I was like, oh, this is how the movie's gonna be.
But yeah, the little twist, and then the story within the story, and then like him telling his dad one thing, and then telling her, and then all of a sudden I was like, where's this going to go? Is there going to be another story? And then like which one's going to be true?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
I think the setup for it was like so funny though, because he's like, "Let me tell you a story," and then as soon as he like his story goes on for like maybe like 2 to 3 minutes, and he's like, "And then my son told me I had to listen to his story." I was like, I feel like there could have been an expedited way. He's like, he could have just been like, honestly, what could have happened, and it could have also shrouded us in more mystery as the audience.
Right.
Was like if he was just talking to the police, like my son showed up to me one day or last night with a gunshot wound and told me I had to do something for him, and then it goes straight into the son telling his story about, and then as soon as you get caught up, it goes back. So you could have kind of story-ceptioned it backwards.
Yeah.
Right? It, not into like, I saw my son and he said he had to tell a story. No, he just goes straight into his son's story, and then it goes like from that to like him on the couch telling his dad what he needs to do, and then kind of like work its way backwards that way. Because I thought it was just too fucking funny to me. I was like, oh, we're going into a different story now.
But interesting that your review said about the Wayans brother. This is the only movie that he's been in that somebody else in his family hasn't had some part in, whether writing, directing, acting.
But I also feel like because it's like, what was his name? Michael Hertz.
Yeah.
Movie, first time directing a movie. I feel like he could have utilized Shawn Wayans a little bit more, because there were when he had lines, he kind of killed it.
Yeah,
like he had it was funny, like in that in the more serious context of the film, he delivered some lines that were really funny, like especially when he's talking to Lurch, or he's like hurling out insults. Like those moments were like, okay, see, like you guys really could have had him play a bigger role in it more, or like even like during the introduction of his crew, he could have went backwards in introducing Valentine and them in their younger days, kind of running the streets of New York doing petty crimes, and then picking up their crews little by little. Could have done it like you would have taken 10 minutes to carve out the time to really establish his relationship with his so-called family.
Right, and then you would have had that bond. You would have the character development, and you would have cared about
them dying.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if Shawn Wayans died. Maybe he had a clause in his contract. He's like, I could be dying on the screen, but you can't show me dying, or you can't show me dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they really they pushed him on here. He's like he's like pretty big on the movie poster.
Right, he definitely seems like he's got top billing.
Yeah,
and then I was like 10 minutes in, and we hadn't met him yet, and I was like, let me pause this and make sure, because there's a few things came up when I put in New Blood.
Yeah,
let me make sure I got the right movie.
So that's really the only shame in here. Is like I wanted to get one, I wanted to pick at least one movie where it's not Marlon or Damon.
Right, and if you had like a more serious action movie, that it would have been a stretch for from what we're used to, and
then plus I was like, Keenan Ivory Wayans doesn't have a lot of movies where he's in front of the camera. He's much more behind the camera.
Yeah,
and so I was like, all right, Shawn has to have one movie, at least, and he has plenty of movies, but like one where it's just him.
Right.
And I feel like, okay, so like back in the 90s, I remember a lot of people thinking Marlon was like, oh yeah, he's cute, haha cute, but Shawn is like more of like the sexy brother.
Well, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I feel like I'm more surprised that Sean didn't try to get into more like, you know, like he could have done rom-coms
Totally.
and
Yep.
really kill that market while, you know, Marlon did more of the comedy stuff. He could, because he's funny, but he plays off really well with his brother. But like he
Right.
has some but he has like rom-com comedy chops. I feel like he could have really killed that portion.
Right.
So it's just
And the looks, yeah, he's definitely
yeah.
like,
In the 90s he was definitely like, yeah, he was. I mean, now it's like probably like they're like Marlon and Sean, if they were like in their prime today, they'd probably just be like they'll be at each other's level, because, you know, like Marlon and Matthew Lillard, very, you know, very type of like in kind of guys now, right?
yeah.
And then Sean is just like classic, like, yeah, I'm a sexy dude. And I'm kind of funny.
So okay, so since we're doing like the Wayne's Dynasty, as I was kind of going through, like I've super interesting Super Bowl not too long ago.
Yep.
The they credit Super Bowl halftime shows because of In Living Color.
Oh.
And so apparently in Living Color, the halftime shows were like cheerleaders and like a brass band, kind of
Yeah.
like high school or
Yeah,
like college.
Yeah.
And then one year, when Living Color was at their like peak, they were like, "We're gonna do a halftime show. So hey, everybody, at halftime, switch off your channel, come to Fox. Was Fox?
Yeah.
And
one of
and
those networks.
and we're gonna do a halftime show, because we're the funniest thing
On TV
and,
right now.
And then they're like, and we'll put the countdown clock at the bottom so when the game's getting ready to start again. So we promise you won't miss anything. And they have a little countdown clock.
Yeah.
And then they did like a whole episode. It was like a 23-minute episode or something. And 10 million people switched off of the Super Bowl to watch their show. And the next year, NFL was like, we cannot have that. So we're going to pay top dollar to get Michael Jackson, who's the biggest name, to do our halftime show. And that was the first really big produced halftime show that the NFL did. And it was because of In Living Color.
Oh. That's a lot of pull, man. You got 10 million people to switch off that to watch a show, like an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle of the biggest sports game of the season.
Exactly. And a lot of like corporations were like, "Hey, we paid top dollar to be a commercial."
Right?
And 10 million people?
It's not that they missed it because they're going pee. They missed it because they switched stations. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have to do something about that. I wonder who's like, all right, guys, we got to get Michael Jackson to do our halftime show next year.
Yep.
Fuck these college brass bands. Oh man, that's crazy. But what's it called? We're coming up to our hour, so I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our other actor themed months out there with Rosario Dawson, Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. There you go. You got a good looking guy in there for you. Well, like conventionally good looking. There's some. I bet you there's some ladies that'll like give me some Trejo. But if this is the first time you guys are joining us, we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have Stream It, DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Kobe, where are you at for this one?
This is tough. Like, I feel like it's better than streaming, but it's not. It's not anywhere Blu-ray. Like, I don't know what Blu-ray would have to do to convince me. Like the fanciest metal box or something. I think I'd probably go DVD. It's got rewatchable value to me. Like, it's not just a one and done. And then if I go in not looking for it to be a Wayans brother movie, then it's but that's always something like we get caught like this is what we expected, and so like I'm disappointed because it's not what I wanted it to be, even though it was a good movie. Yeah.
I think I would say stream it, but I want to have a physical copy of it, just in case I ever ran into Sean Wayans, and to be like, hey man, can you sign this DVD? And I want to see him be like, holy shit, somebody watch this movie. And I want to tell him like, hey man, I feel like they underused you. I feel like you should have had a bigger part in this movie, and let you like act a little bit more than you were. He's like, oh, thank you, I really appreciate that. When I was getting into it, that might have been because this movie might have been his movie where he's like, oh, let me try to do something without my brothers.
Right.
And like maybe like the filming experience was bad. Maybe like his part in it was supposed to be bigger than what it actually was. I don't know. I'm just sad that it might have turned him away.
Right, because there might be a story behind it. I mean, like maybe Michael Hurst like did some stuff with them, and he was like, hey, this is your big break, your first like big write and direct. So yeah, I'll jump in it because got to support the people who support me, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it just didn't turn out that way. Oh man, but thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our links down below.
We got our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. We're on everything.
Exactly. Check us out. My name is Barry.
Give some likes and some shares.
My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and the Bandcamp is down below.